Something else has been on my mind. There was a clip of a woman saying that she's famous and she's got an OnlyFans. I know she hasn't got an OnlyFans because it got taken down. And then she was saying how she can earn a lot of money being a prostitute, and it's £100 an hour. So for like 5 minutes, I get £10. And then I was just like, what? Like, she sounded so crazy. But I feel also quite sorry for her as well. You know, like My Fair Lady, where they take a girl that's kind of like completely trampy. All I want is a room somewhere far away from the cold earth, with one enormous chair outward, and then she turn, I don't know, they turn her into like a posh person afterward, or a posh speaking person, and then they go, but she kind of reminds me of that, like a modern day version of My Fair Lady. But yeah, I have been thinking about her because it's kind of like wanting to know, how does someone go into that? I mean, obviously drugs is how they go into it, but it's annoying because she does seem like a fairly nice person. And I feel like, how many people have actually done that? Like, this girl's gonna suck and fuck for £10, and I'm just gonna go, yeah, give me, I want to suck and fuck. I mean, like, what kind of mind do you have to have as a male who's supposed to be sane, who's not supposed to be not on drugs, to think that a £10 suck and fuck is a good idea? I mean, I would love to know who's on her phone book list. Like who the hell is on her phone book list? Because I just feel like whoever's on her phone book list, I mean, if they're drug addicts too, then I guess it kind of makes sense, because they're not thinking straight, basically. But if you are thinking straight, and if you're not a drug addict, and you think it's completely fine to give someone who's obviously looks like they are needing help, are in problems, and you just give them a £10 to, just give me a blowjob for 5 seconds, or give me a blowjob for 60 seconds, and then I'll have sex and then finish, and I'll give you £10. I mean, if you think that's kind of right, like, how mentally insane, or how much hate must you have for white people in general to just think that a suck and fuck for £10 is a good idea? You know, how many suck and fucks how she calls it is just really annoying, but at the same time I think it really does show the level of detachment that she has from these people. You know, if all these people that she's suck and fucked die, I bet she'd be incredibly happy, and that's kind of how I feel. And therefore I feel like whoever these people are that she's suck and fucked with for 10 quid, you know, they obviously mean nothing to I don't think they respect humanity. For you to think that is okay clearly means that you don't respect humanity. I mean, I think it might be different if you're making £2 in a field, and £10 is like 5 hours work or something, and you've, you know, I don't know, but England is sinking, and I think there's a lot of people who are sinking it. And I think the people that want to attack white people or black people or just English people, British people, by saying that, oh, British people are easy, or British people are this and that, you know, I think they're the ones that are sinking it. And whoever is funding girls that want to suck and fuck for £10, you know, I just think whoever would do that is clearly one of the people that are sinking the ship. And if these are the same people that are criticising the British people whilst not wanting the British flag to go up, you know, I love the British flag. The British flag, I hate the British government, and I hate a lot of people here. I think they're idiots, but at the same time, I like the British flag. That is a nice nice flag. And if you have come from a different country and you want us to not show our flag and then put up your flag, then I don't see you as an immigrant. You're not an immigrant. An immigrant is someone who comes to the country, migrates into the country, likes the things that we have here, with things like National Trust, things like English heritage. You know, all these people were built by British people, and okay, maybe we had different influences that also came in here, but all those people became immigrants. They came in. They decided, we're going to build land, we're going to work here, we're going to build nice houses that are going to last a long time, and we are creating a settlement here. Now, if you are one of these people who want to come here, you want to immigrate here, you want to adapt, you know, you have to be proud of the flag that you are immigrating into. Now, if you are ashamed of the British flag, then that is not immigration. I see that as being a traitor. You have come here on the pretense that you are immigrating, whilst really being a traitor to the people that you are living around, because you just want to insert your flag. I think there's a lot of flags that I'm not bothered about. I went to a Caribbean festival and they had lots of Caribbean there, and I don't know. With the Caribbean flag, I do feel differently because I like some of the Caribbean music. I like, when you're sitting by a hot beach, lovely, cocktails, relaxing. Okay, weed and marijuana comes to mind, yes, but I don't take that. But I like the vibe of it, and therefore, if you want to have a Caribbean celebration, I feel like I can get into the do do do. She don't love me, and you can get into the do do. The music is good. The music is good. So if you want to have a Caribbean festival, wave the flags, fine. But Pakistan, like, why would you be raising the Pakistani flag in here, considering all the problems that Pakistan have caused? And then one of my client being from Pakistan as well, I feel like that's a bad sign. And it's not immigration if you're more proud of that flag than yours. That is either I think you're a refugee if you don't speak English, if you're refusing to learn how to speak English. If people are always going like, what? Can you say that again? And get you to like say specific words so they can kind of understand, you haven't immigrated, you haven't blended in, you are standing out, you do not. The problem is though, there's so many refugees here that it just feels like English is not the main language any longer. Like it used to be, but when I went to Manchester was pretty bad. There was almost everyone was speaking a different language when I was walking around Manchester Square. That was shockingly bad, yeah, it was almost like they had like some sort of immigration celebration, but it wasn't immigration. It was some sort of refugee work placement, and they were all just lying, but they weren't. They were all literally just randomers that were just walking around, and it was really bad. And yeah, I think you need to have some sort of law where they say if you do not learn to speak the language, and if you do not have a good job or facilities, if you have loads of money, I guess that's different. I know that Saudi Arabia might have loads of money because of oil. I don't know what other countries have oil, but there's a lot of countries that have oil. So if all these places have a lot of oil, and they because of this they've managed to sort of spread this wealth and bought up these houses, and they're coming here, well, are they helping the community? If they've got money, if they're spending money, if they're they're doing all that, then great. But just if you're just keeping to yourself, keeping to your bubble, and saying things like, oh, I only want to speak to a Muslim police officer, if you're saying things like this, and you have not immigrated, you have not blended in with the culture, you have just changed the culture. And I feel like it's getting so bad now that we can't tell the difference between an immigrant and a person that lives here, because everyone seems to be living from different countries, and England is no longer England, and it has gotten really bad. But yeah, I just there's a difference between people who adopt into the country, and it is like a marriage. You marry into the country, into the heritage, and you know what Britain stands for, which, okay, it might have had wars in the past, but they were a great nation, and they've got a great history, and they've built so much, and they've got a lot. And if you've been welcomed in, you should be privileged to be here, not just think, oh, it's I don't like that flag, or I don't like these people, I don't like the white girls, oh yeah, they're all whores and prostitutes. Well, yeah, maybe the reason why they're like this is because you turned them into this, because your people, your religion has turned this girl, like this My Fair Lady girl that I saw on the clip a few days ago, was she turned into that because of a bunch of Islamic men grooming her into drugs and forcing her? Like, I do massage. 80% of my clients are Asian, and I've had so many people. Almost every call that calls me up asking for sex are people that don't speak English. You offer sex? No, I don't. I mean, I think they do it because they think massage and sex means the same thing, hence why they're attracted to me. But none of them, all the people, occasionally there's a few people that speak English that ask if I offer sex, but it's very rare. Almost everyone that asks me for sex are Asian or people that don't speak English very well. Now, if these people are coming in and destroying our country by grooming kids and getting them to think that being a prostitute is fine, and if there's now a bunch of prostitutes walking around doing a suck and fuck with £10, I think these people need to stop just seeing these people as being prostitutes and whores, but rather see them as people that have been damaged by their culture coming into this land and insulting our culture, whilst they destroy our culture and then blame up this destruction of our culture on us, when really they're the ones that are doing it.